comes to the police, that how do they perceive themselves? It's a question of perception, majorly. Even policemen who are my friends, some of them look at themselves as demigods. Yeah, with that small firearm on their waist and the uniform which they put on, they think that the demigods, they walk around.
Shimukiraoni.
Yeah, Shimukiraoni. That colonial thinking that the police still have, and in fact, the older policemen. The younger ones, they're a little bit. In fact, the older ones called the younger policemen what was seminar. Because the younger policemen, especially our Gen Z and millennials, they were not taken through the rigorous authority force kind of training. Them, they were more on the law, okay? And more on the order side. But still, their trainers are from a bygone era. Their trainers are those ones who still believe that you need to be put down. Because what is important for them is not the people. It is the order in the police, what they call the discipline forces. And that brings me to the second point, that what is the training manual of the police? How does it look like?
How does it look like?
Is there need? I know they will say this thing, oh, you don't need to access it because then you will know how to train a militia. Okay? But let them reflect upon it themselves and ask themselves one important question. Is this training manual serving them for the long term? Is it working against them? Because now, unlike initially where we were saying, oh, you want to D plus or something and they want to go to the police. Now we even find people who are having B and A's actually go to the police. So are we still going to be uncivilized? Because the police are becoming uncivilized. And that is what they say, that you're being, the civilization is being drawn from you and you're left as an inhuman being. Not as a human being, an inhuman being. That when you go to the public, you refer to common mwananchi as raia. And you are not a raia. You are a kraoni or whatever they call themselves. Yeah?
So what are you, an animal?
An animal, of course, because once humanity is removed from you, what remains in you? All of us are animals. The only thing that differentiates us from the ones in the forest is we have conscience. We have the amygdala in our brain, which is able to regulate our emotions. We have our prefrontal cortex, which is able to process logic. That is why we remain human. So if, for example, you find a policeman, what we were talking about during the break, you find a policeman beating Eric, seeing Eric cry, and continuously bludgeoning this fellow to an extent where he sees this gentleman has lost
conscience.
Leave alone even conscience, has lost the struggle. Because even in war, it is said, actually it's a standard rule in war, that once your opponent surrenders by waving a white flag, you cannot proceed to beat them. You leave them. You can only take them as prisoners. So the humanity with which a police officer looks at a suspect and beats them beyond measure, it only qualifies these policemen as psychopaths. These ones are psychopaths. These ones who are killing, these ones are psychopaths. Unfortunately, there are too many in the police force.
And remember you had said before that it doesn't go wrong, it starts wrong.
It starts wrong.
Yeah. So I would imagine, or I would hope that for a service that is going to be dealing a lot of times with human behavior, that there is an element of human behavior that needs to be studied as somebody who's getting into this